let's start talking about Federico Chiesa. There was a lot of, I don't know, surprise, anguish, like, oh my God, what's going on, when he wasn't named in the starting lineup. You know, where is he? What's going on? It turns out it was probably pre-planned for both him and Dominic Szoboszlai to get 45 minutes each, because, yeah, obviously it was in the end. His ratings, for what it's worth, then he gets a 7 from SofaScore. He gets a 8 from FOTMob, and he gets a 7.8 from the guys at Who Scored. He hits the post, he's dangerous, and then he ultimately gets his first Liverpool goal, which is great for him as well. Yeah, it felt like when he wasn't in the 11, Jay, and we were live on the build-up show, of course, it was like, well, that's him, he's going, he's off, he's clapping him. The manager clearly hates him. I think it turned out it was a bit more of a pre-planned thing for him. I said this off air to you before, he seems to get a lot of shots. In every game he's played, he gets a lot of shots, he has chances to score. His debut against West Ham, he has the overhead that Jota ends up nodding in. I saw him against Southampton have one block that looked like it was going in. He hits the post today, like he scores today, and he takes his goal very well. Again, we don't know where he's at fitness-wise, but what I would say, mate, there are certain players who chances either are created for, make themselves, and he looks like he's in that mix. You can see the quality there. He has to just be fit enough to show it, because again, it's Accrington, and we all know that. But there's definitely something there. He isn't a bust in terms of how he plays. It's just whether his body can hold up, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, we came into the studio earlier, and the rumour had gone round that he's not starting, and I'm thinking, oh, this is a really, really bad sign, because I'd had this game earmarked. Then I see he's on the bench, and I'm thinking, is that even weirder? Like, he's fit enough to play, but he's not in the starting lineup. But then this business about the pre-planned thing with Dom, which seems fair enough to me. He comes on second half, and I think the first thing you'd say is immediately he's involved in the action. He's lively. He's making runs down that right-hand side. He has a shot that hits the side netting about 30 seconds after he comes on. Yeah, and I agree with you with what you say about him being a bit of a chance magnet or a shot creator. In the very brief times that we've seen him, going back to that Southampton game, he's not on for long there, but he manages to get shots off. He manages to get involved. There was a nice bit of quality where he sets up Nunez. He runs down the middle, plays a through ball to Nunez. It just seemed like it was a bit of a good commentator's curse, because I put on our Twitter, I said his finishing was rusty, and then he scored like literally a minute later. So I'll take a little bit of credit for that, because it seemed like he was getting into the right areas and being dangerous, but the goal wasn't necessarily going to come for him. And eventually it does. Great finish, 20 odd yards out, smacks it right in off the post. Another one of the many positives out of the day, because there was a point in the second half where we were 2-0 and Accrington were doing all right, and I'm thinking, oh, this game's kind of fizzling out into nothing. To come out of it now, having won 4-0, Chiesa getting his goal, I just think that hopefully should do him the world of good. Again, it's been a big mystery about his fitness. Getting on benches, then he's off the bench, not as in coming on the pitch. He's not in the squad.
Yeah.
He's a bit of illness, a bit of this, a bit of that. Lots going on about he's not had a pre-season. So, yeah, I just thought, God, if you can't get any minutes against Accrington Stanley, then what are we supposed to do with you? But thankfully,
it was clearly a pre-planned thing, which hopefully settles some nerves. Like I say, he was on the pitch for 45 minutes plus injury time. He ends up getting 6 shots. He has 3 on target, and forced a couple of really good saves actually by the young goalkeeper, who did relatively well considering he got beat 4. It could have been worse if not for him. He also hit the post one where the goalie was done. He wasn't getting that. He takes his goal really well, out of his feet. Again, you have to caveat it with, again, you're playing League 2 opposition in the second half when you're already winning a game relatively comfortable. So it is the least pressurised situation you're going to get if you're Federico Chiesa. But I'll go back to it. If he'd have played poorly or not scored, we'd have all been going, oh my God, he had to do something, and he showed it, Jay. And again, we'll find out in due course. But Liverpool might need this lad at some point coming forward soon. And if he is going to be this type of guy who gets himself in goal scoring positions, he's clearly got an eye for goal.
Yeah.
You can see that already. And he's got the pace. You can see that as well. There is definitely something that, again, if he can get right, that Arne Slot could use there. He plays where Mo Salah plays, understandably. But you're only ever one injury, suspension, run a form away from needing somebody else. And I'm quite encouraged with what I saw today.
Yeah. That's what I want to see now going forward. I want him to be a viable option. If he can get 45 against Accrington, all right, you know, if you're playing against Arsenal or something like that, the physical demands are going to be greater on you, which that's been his issue since he's come in. But can he not now get, because, you know, Mo, we've all marvelled about the shape that he keeps himself in and all that, but 15 minutes at the end of a game for Mo, like, I know Mo never wants to come off, but we don't, you know, perish the thought that Mo, someone just whacks him and he gets a broken ankle and we're 3-0 up in a game and then everyone's going, why is Mo still on the pitch? You know, that, hopefully we are going to be 2 or 3-0 up in some games between now and the end of the season. They can be moments for Chiesa to come on. And then maybe, this is what I've been saying all season in terms of the fee, is comparatively so low that even if he gets 5 goals, all comps between now and the end of the season, if one of them's in some key game where it's 1-1 going into the last 5 minutes, he comes off the bench and bags the winner, then he's pretty much paid his transfer fee off already. So yeah, good to finally see him on the pitch. Great to see him getting his goal. He's clearly got class. We've seen it for Italy. We've seen some fantastic goals in the Euros. We've seen some fantastic goals on YouTube of like Nations League and qualifying games and all that sort of thing. So hopefully we can see a bit more of it. And the pressure's not massively on him to deliver. I know he's one of our 6 forwards, but yeah, if he can just contribute a little bit between now and the end of the season with 10-minute cameos, the odd goal here or there, then I think people will stop saying we've been sold a crock. Even though it was a low fee, we wasted our money and all that sort of thing.
I might be wrong, and maybe I'm just the eternal optimist that I am, but like, I still feel there's a big moment in this season that Federico Chiesa comes up and scores, because again, this is different than the physicality. It looks like that's something he's really struggled with. He's had illness, he's had injuries, that one of them. But I think you can see his quality in every game he's played. There's definitely something there, and I go back to it. Some players just get loads of attempts on goal and shots and goals, blocks, posts and whatever, and it just feels like that's him. So I do believe, and I'm going to hold out hope based on what I've seen every time I've seen him, which isn't enough, granted. I think there's definitely a big Federico Chiesa moment in this season. And again, getting Liverpool through this round means there's another game for him to play probably in the next round and more minutes, because he's got the issue of he's behind Mo Salah, and Mo Salah's the best player in the world at the moment, so it's going to be tough for him. But I was very encouraged what I saw, and especially from the physicality point of view. You know, Again, granted, it's not the most intense game, but he looked sharp. He didn't look like a lad who hadn't played a lot of footy, Jay, which is a bonus going forwards. Yeah,
I'm going to make an odd comparison here, but I remember do you remember when Carlos Tevez had that thing where he went and played golf?
Right, okay.
They were going back a few years now, but Roberto Mancini basically came out and went, he's not playing again for me. But that was the run-in. I don't know if it was the Aguero, but there was a run-in there where he did bring him back, and in like the last 5 games of the season, he scored 1 or 2 goals. That could be Chiesa for us. I'm still holding out hope, and I've got my fingers crossed that he could come up in a big moment for us. And yeah, it's nice to see him looking sharp again. We've got to say, you know, it's not going to be his biggest challenge that he's ever faced in his life, but another positive for Arne Slot from today. So yeah, all power to him, and great to see him getting on the score sheet.
Yeah, absolutely, and long may that continue. Hopefully he stays fit and can stay involved, because you never know when you're going to need somebody, that is for sure.